All right, y'all, we got some mess to talk about today.
I'ma keep this ass in rotation. Can you keep up with me? Ain't no breaks, no vacation. I got all my niggas trained.
Yeah, y'all, we got a lot of mess to talk about today, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. Before we get into that, make sure that you go to patreon.com/AdrianExpression. Check out all the extra content, including my podcast, and also make sure that you're checking out relatable content. The link for that is in my description box. We release episodes every Monday. This past Monday, we had an awesome conversation with Bob the Drag Queen. He is hilarious, talented, he's cool as hell. Really appreciate him for stopping by our podcast. Like I said, if you want to hear that conversation, you want to hear us, kiki a little bit, make sure you check my description box. Before we get to anything else, y'all already know I got Jamaican blood in me. So I could not pass this story up. So while William and Kate are out here, going on the typical ass tours, I'm talking about the Caribbean tour. They started out on the Caribbean tour, right? And based off of William and Kate's Instagram, you would think that everything is going peaceful. Everything is going great. Look at these pictures. This picture in particular looks like, the white gays on Tinder. They be like, I helped you, Black Stallion. Anyway, I'm sorry. You know what I'm talking about? Like those weird, cringy ass, missionary ass, pictures that they be posting. And they be so proud of their pictures. I'm like, damn, bitch, that's the first time you've seen a nigga in person. Anyway. Yeah, by the looks of these pictures, you would think that all this shit is going well, bitch. Listen to this. Jamaica and then the rest, Bahamas, the rest of them girls, they are not playing with these. They're not playing with these girls. They're not playing with these bitches. Like, I promise you. So this is coming from CTV. I just want to get it right. The protest in front of the British High Commission, which you can see pictures of the shit here, in Kingston, comes a couple of days after dozens of prominent leaders in Jamaica publicized a letter demanding that Britain apologize and award its former colony slavery reparations. They also decried a week-long Central American and Caribbean tour that the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge embarked on Saturday, which coincides with Jamaica's 60th independent anniversary and the 70th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's coronation. They're saying that one poster said, kings, queens, and princesses and princes belong in fairy tales, not in Jamaica. It goes on, the group protesting the royal visit noted in the letter that the British raped and killed thousands of slaves, as it sought an apology for 60 reasons, including for refusing to acknowledge the historic trade in Africans as a crime against humanity, and for pretending that the British led the abolition movement when our ancestors worked, prayed, and fought for this. The Independent says Jamaica has already started the process of removing the Queen as the head of state and will continue to work on this once the royal visit is over. And I'm just like, at this point, we're not even sure where the Queen is at, which dimension the Queen is in, so it might not be too hard to remove her from that. Sorry. The cut says, well, this is awkward. Last weekend, Prince William and Kate Middleton arrived in Belize to kick off their Caribbean tour to celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee and strengthen Commonwealth ties, but things aren't going as planned. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge canceled their first official Belize event after local residents protested their visit. Now, Jamaican leaders are rejecting Tuesday's royal visit to the island. And the Bahamas, kill me with this shit. Okay, so look at this shit. The Bahamas National Reparations Committee has released a statement taking issue with the government's sponsorship of the royal visit. Bahamas said, why are we footing the bill for the benefit of a regime whose rise to quote-unquote greatness was fueled by the extension, enslavement, colonization, and degradation of the people of this island? Why are we being made to pay again? We are not beholden to the British monarchy in any way and do not owe them a debt of gratitude for anything, not for our culture, religion, or system of governance. Instead, the monarchy has looted and pillaged our land and our people for centuries, leaving us struggling with underdevelopment, left to pick up the pieces. However, they can no longer ignore the devastation of their heritage. They and their family of royals and their government must acknowledge that their diverse economy was built on the backs of our ancestors, and then they must pay. We see no reason to celebrate 70 years of the ascension of your grandmother to the British throne, because her leadership and that of her predecessors have perpetuated the greatest human rights tragedy in the history of mankind. So I'm seeing all this. I'm seeing them posting their happy little pictures on Instagram. And meanwhile, it's like a whole revolution of thought happening in the Caribbean. Them girls are not playing with y'all. Let me tell you, I'm just happy that Jamaica said, hey, guess what? We're gonna try and become a republic. Of course, there is like tension in certain areas because some people are still kissing the ass of the royal family. And you know, with all that brainwashing and propaganda and stuff, they may not have a real deep understanding of the interworkings or the historical context of you know what I mean? Of this entire issue. So maybe that's why there's some tension, because that's how you keep your colonies, right? That's how you keep these people subjugate. You just be like, oh yeah, we love you. They come and visit. Oh, let's dance. Let's do a couple of dances. What's this dance that you Jamaicans do? The wine? The wine? Let me wine. They be dancing and shit. I'm just like, bitch. I'm just happy that the people are making their voices heard. Like, it gives me great joy. Like, I can't imagine. Bitch, you already know their skin can't handle none of that shit, the heat and all the sun. So they already uncomfortable. And then they come down here expecting like peace and love and just like, yeah, subjugation. Worship me. And them girls said, no ma'am. And I'm so happy because like I said, I have Jamaican blood. My parents, grandparents are Jamaican. So it's like, when you're in those circles, you can hear the way that some people speak. Some people, some Jamaicans or whatever, some people in the Caribbean speak about the Queen. You're just like, or speak about the royal family. I'm just like, girl, you know that shit was colonization. You know that was enslavement. You know they owe you shit. Like, stop worshiping their ass. So I'm just so happy. I'm so happy. I hope that these kinds of voices in the Caribbean overpower the ones that are just wanting y'all to continue to worship the royal family, because I get my life. I love it. I love to see it. I love to see it. So speaking of something else that I love to see, there were already rumors that Beyonce, was working on an album that is going to be kind of house, giving house music. I don't know. That those are rumors. But another rumor popped up this week, and it ended up being confirmed. It was that Beyonce was going to perform at the Oscars. Now, granted, I'm not going to watch the Oscars either way. I'm going to catch Beyonce's performance. I'm going to watch the performance, right? But I'm not going to instant Oscars very much. Like I said, I feel like I'm more music-based, like Grammys. You could get me to watch the AMAs and shit like that. But as far as the Oscars, I'm going to let y'all have that. But I'm so happy. Beyonce about to... Of course, everyone's thinking it's going to be Alive. This is coming from Deadline. There has been a rumor she will sing from a tennis court in Compton where Venus and Serena Williams honed their game. That would require a pre-tape, and word is that Beyonce only wanted to do that if all the other songs were pre-taped or had the option. She didn't want special treatment. Makes sense, because it's like, bitch, I'm Beyonce singing. You know how the girls get. So maybe it happens live, and maybe it happens at the Dolby Theater. The Academy would not comment. So yeah, I mean, the Academy made this official announcement. They're like, girl, here are the musical selections, and let me tell you something. There are a lot of people who are Beyonce fans, stans, whatever, and they're just like, well, maybe this is the start of the new era. Like, Beyonce, she wouldn't just come out, she wouldn't pop out and then just disappear again, would she? And it's just like, do you know your fave? Do you know your fave? Do you know your bitch? She will literally webcam in a performance and then just go back home and continue watching what? Dora the Explorer with Rumi and Sir. Like, she not gonna... So it could go either way. Like, this would be an amazing start to a new era introduction. I don't know, like, girl, give us a tour, give us a single, give us something. It would be a great way to introduce a new era, right? We don't know if she's gonna have Parkwood, pass out VR headsets pass out like Nerve Gear headsets in the Oscars auditorium or wherever the fuck they finna have this shit at, and just perform for these hoes virtually and sit her ass back down like, bitch, we don't know, and literally don't do anything else for the rest of the year. Like, we don't know. We have no idea. But I really hope so. But the thing is, with Beyonce, we don't know, like, she could say, hey, how y'all doing? That's all she could say for the performance, and then go sit her ass back down until 2027. I don't know, but we need something. It's been too long, B. It's been too long. Where the music at? And since I'm talking about where the music at, I'll just run through some quick music industry news really quick. So, first of all, Lizzo previewed her song About Damn Time or something like that on the Late Late Show, and it sounds cute as fuck. She also has like a show coming on Amazon called Watch Out for the Big Girls or something, where she's like looking for dancers or something. Anyway, it's cool. Love that, happy for her. Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, so iHeartRadio had this thing like awards and shit going on last night. Last night I think it was. And Megan Thee Stallion went up there and performed like a mix between Megan's Piano and Sweetest Pie. And she looked cute. She looked good. She sounded good. I know that there's a whole lot of stuff going on between her and Carl Crawford and her 1501 and all that shit. But I'm happy. She seems to be taking that fucked up ass energy, you know what I mean? That negative ass energy and just channeling all that shit into her performance. I love that shit because it's like when you see that your favorite performers are mad as hell on stage, you're like, yeah, bitch. Yeah, eat them hoes up. And that's exactly what she did. It was so cute to see Kelly Rowland present her with the Trailblazer Award. I think that's what it's called. And Megan was just like, yeah, I'm gonna just keep doing me. When she gave her speech, I'm gonna keep doing me. I'm gonna keep speaking out, keep, fighting when it comes to social injustices and all that shit. I was like, hell yeah, Megan. It was given very much inspirational at the iHeartRadio Awards. When you take that into account, you also take the fact that Lil Nas X went up, and I think it's like best male artist that he was, male artist of the year or something like that. And he, in his speech, the main point of Lil Nas X's speech was, it's okay to be delusional when following your dreams. He said, I wouldn't be here right now if in my life and career also, if I wasn't delusional, dropping out of school and essentially becoming what I am, like an international star, like that's believing that I could do that, come out the closet at the height of my career, or make a song about two men lusting after each other, like that's delusional. But me like relying on that delusion or me living in that delusion made all of this possible, essentially. So he's just like, yeah, go for it. And I love that message because I found that out very quickly. Like if you don't believe in something or if you're just like half-assing it, it's just like other people aren't going to believe in it either, So you almost have to be like delusionally confident in yourself. It's not to say that you have to be a fucking arrogant asshole, but you have to be delusionally confident. I don't know if that's delusionally is even a word, but you know what I mean? Like you have to have that unwavering faith and belief in yourself, or do whatever you have to do to get it and keep it, because that is really where all the gold comes from. See what I'm saying? So lastly, I'll end with something cute or funny. I mean, I thought it was funny. So apparently these little documents were coming up on social media, and certain people were just like, apparently it came from Home Depot. And some people were just like, oh my God, I have such a huge problem with this. Of course, you can see here, it's just unpacking privilege. Like that's the purpose of this document, is just to talk people through or walk people through what privilege looks like. As you can see here, some of the things that were said. If while growing up, college was an expectation of you, not a dream, you had class privilege. If you don't have to explain that your spouse is of the same gender, you have heterosexual privilege. If you can expect time off from work to celebrate your religious holidays, you have Christian privilege. And the second page talks about, why it's uncomfortable, why people find it uncomfortable to talk about white privilege. I love the checkbox right here, was just like, check your privilege. People were just like, had such a huge issue with this shit. And to the point where, this come from Newsweek. A spokesperson for the Home Depot in the US told Newsweek the material in question came from the company's Canadian division. So it wasn't even in the US. And they said, and wasn't created or approved by our corporate diversity, equity, and inclusion department. The representative added the document was not a part of any required training program for the company, but it should be. The Fraternal Order of Police was just really pissed at this damn document, because in the document it said, if you're confident that the police exist to protect you, you have white privilege. I think that this could have been worded a little bit more delicately, I think. But I mean, the idea behind it remains the same. Like, girl, there are certain populations in this country who are just like, do not live in the same world when it comes to police. We just don't. So the Fraternal Order Police in the US, they're just like, girl, we have an issue with this. It's like, girl, if you don't shut the fuck up. Like, what's the big deal? I don't ever understand that shit. Like, what's the big deal of saying there's certain things in this life that I won't ever have to experience, or won't experience to a certain, to a kind of level that other people have to experience the shit. Like, what's the issue? And the good thing about saying that shit, or the good thing about being honest and being real about that, is that now you have insight into what other people are going through, and you can interact with them, and you can behave, when it comes to your own actions, in a way, in a more informed, more educated way. Like, we can all make life easier for everybody, for all of us, For example, me, I don't see what's the issue with saying like, oh, there's certain things that women have to deal with, that I have no experience, I just don't have to deal. Like, what's the big deal? I don't get it, but they be pissed. But when privilege, or maybe the meritocracy myth, is the only thing that you have, that your self-esteem has to stand on, of course you will find it like, Oh my God, like what? You mean to tell me I never struggled? Get out of my face. Anyway, on that note, I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out all the links in my description and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.
Now I think super son, got you